Let's keep it real, all right? The original fans, activist fans, that's what they are, all right? Just keeping it real. They don't like the fact that you want to watch these games. The woke WNBA fans, look, hey, let's just peel back the curtain, all right? Slows, retards, however you wanted to call it, they are just woke basketball fans. They don't like the fact that you are 3 or 4 times the amount of them. Sorry, your league's been taken over by, you guessed it, white dudes with beards.
Aja Wilson telling fans to boycott Caitlin Clark. That's what people are saying right now, and it's causing absolute chaos in the WNBA community. The defending champion and league MVP is supposedly calling for fans to turn their backs on the rookie sensation. But here's what nobody's talking about. This boycott could actually destroy women's basketball at its most crucial moment. WNBA viewership has jumped from 200,000 to over 1 million since Clark arrived.
If us sports fans wanted to watch this crap before Caitlin Clark got involved, we would have been watching it. I mean, I own 2 sports channels. American flags in the background. Don't know what to tell you. America's team. Get some. I mean, I'm just keeping it real here. All right? And I understand that's not everybody, but you get the point I'm trying to make here. I get paid for talking about sports for a living. I was not watching this league. All right? I was not watching it. The only reason it ever got covered is because Brittany Griner went to Russian prison.
Is this really about protecting the league, or is something else going on behind the scenes? Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. So what's really going on here? Is Aja Wilson actually telling fans to boycott Caitlin Clark and the Fever? Let's break this down because there's a lot of confusion around this story that's blowing up on social media.
Oh, what? Oh, there's strength in numbers. There's tens of you. That's, I mean, what? Tens of hundreds of you, maybe? Hundreds? That's how the W got covered on Black and White Sports. So they're all mad right now, furious, and my goodness, guys, they're talking boycott. Oh, I'll get to that in a minute because that's where this is all going. You see this right here, Caitlin Clark and the Fever will have more nationally televised game than any NBA player this year.
First things first, Aja Wilson never actually called for any boycott of Caitlin Clark or the Indiana Fever. That's a straight up false rumor. What really happened is that some vocal WNBA fans on social media started pushing this boycott idea themselves. These aren't official representatives of any team or player, just regular fans with Twitter accounts and strong opinions. You know what's actually happening? The Indiana Fever are scheduled to appear in 41 nationally televised games this season. That's insane. That's more TV time than even the biggest NBA stars like LeBron or Steph get in their regular seasons. And that's what triggered some of these so-called real fans.
If you go by this year's ratings, yeah, the ratings are a little better in the NBA, but they're nothing to write home about. They've had a couple of bigger spikes and then went right back to Flatline City. Sorry, LeBron. Sorry, Luka. Sorry, every other player in the league. Let's be honest. I've seen the NBA ratings. She's beaten most of them. She beat most of them last year. All right, so that's what they're mad about. 41 nationally televised games, and they are furious over it. I can't understand.
To start talking about boycotts. These boycott supporters are so committed to tanking Clark's viewership numbers that they're literally encouraging people to illegally stream games instead of watching them through official channels. That's how serious some of these people are about making sure Caitlin Clark doesn't succeed. Can you believe that? The numbers behind all this are actually mind-blowing. Before Caitlin Clark entered the league, WNBA games were typically pulling in around 200,000 viewers per broadcast. That's not terrible, but it's not exactly breaking records either. But now, with Clark on the court, those same games are hitting over 1 million viewers. That's a 5x increase basically overnight. The league has never seen anything like this before. These boycott supporters keep claiming they're the real fans who stuck with the WNBA when nobody was watching.
The media hated Tim Tebow. What are you talking about? They hated him because he was a Christian. I remember. This guy's mad. I really don't like her. The way she cries for calls is pathetic. Still stand by her being a better version of Tim Tebow, completely hyped by the media with some talent. Trust me, I was praying that Tim Tebow was going to be a great quarterback. It did not happen. Whoa, it looks like you added too many cups of dumbass.
They act like people who tune in now to see Caitlin Clark are somehow fake fans or disrespecting other incredible players in the league. It's this weird gatekeeping mentality where they'd rather have a small, dedicated fan base than see the league actually grow. Here's what these boycott supporters don't understand, and it's actually pretty important. The WNBA is right now in the middle of negotiating its next big media rights deal. This is huge. These deals determine how much money networks will pay to broadcast WNBA games over the next several years. And guess what those networks look at when deciding how much to pay? Viewership numbers. When networks see those million-plus viewers tuning in for Caitlin Clark games, that translates directly into dollar signs for the entire league. More viewers equal more money from networks. That's just how the business works. And here's the crazy part. These media deals are what ultimately fund players' salaries. So by boycotting games and trying to tank viewership, these real fans would literally be taking money out of every single WNBA player's pocket, including Aja Wilson herself. It's like they're so focused on proving a point that they can't see they're hurting the very players they claim to support. What this boycott movement really reveals is something pretty uncomfortable. There are some longtime WNBA supporters who would genuinely rather see lower viewership numbers than witness Caitlin Clark succeed. They're willing to potentially damage the entire league's growth just to make sure one rookie doesn't get too much attention. The financial ecosystem of women's basketball is completely interconnected. When viewership goes up, that leads to higher attendance at games, more merchandise sales, and bigger sponsorship deals. All of that money flows through the league and benefits everyone involved, from the biggest stars to the bench players, from rookies to veterans. We're witnessing something truly special right now. The WNBA is at the exact same crossroads that transformed women's tennis and soccer. This isn't just about one player or one team anymore. This is about an entire league ready to explode into mainstream popularity. WNBA executives and players are already seeing how these viewership spikes translate to better sponsorship deals and higher salaries across the board. Instead of fighting over who deserves attention, imagine what happens when everyone rises together. Every player benefits from this wave. The veterans who built the foundation and the rookies who help bring new eyes. This moment isn't about choosing sides between Clark and Wilson. It's about deciding if you want women's basketball to finally get its flowers after decades of being undervalued. The question isn't who's your favorite player. It's whether you want to be part of the generation that helped women's basketball break through the glass ceiling once and for all.